Whirlybird of Doom. So lately I've been, I've been on a sick leave this weekend. So, well, Friday at least I was on a sick leave, and I have decided that I'm going to actually, since I've been doing quite a bit of, I did myself a learn. I'm going to try to stream myself doing a training mission in the K50. I'm going to hide the pilot seat because I don't want really to see the pilot himself. But anyway, I've been actually following some training videos and material that I found online for the KA50, and we're going to actually try to employ those things that I've learned in this stream. So stay tuned. I might make mistakes, of course. The main shout out here goes to Grim Reapers for actually teaching me that stuff. And for actually bothering to organize this video. So it's a very simple training mission that I set up. It has various aircraft on it, but since we are doing and handling the Whirlybird of Doom, we are going to try to use the Ka-50. So first of all, we need to arm up this helicopter with weapons. Wow. And I'm going to also go through the flight planning with you guys. It's going to be that way. So let's take actually missiles. Let's take the Vickers missiles. I think it's the actual name of it is Blizzard. We can also take the KH-50 or 25 ml. Sorry, I really had a brain fart here. So the KH-25 ml is actually an air-to-ground laser-guided missile. The Vickers are are air-to-ground guided missiles. So we're going to use those. And we're going to let's take some rocket pods. These KOMs, I don't know what type of rockets they are, but they are rockets. We have 20 rockets each, so we have also an arsenal of 40 rockets. And let's pick up a lighter color scheme. No, let's take the Marines too, it looks actually better.
Request rearming.
So we're going to request the rearming. We're going to wait for the guys on the ground to bring in the ammo carts. Of course, that's not animated here, it's just the way it is, and they're going to arm our helicopter. The helicopter also comes with a 30mm cannon, which is, I think it's 30mm if I remember right, which has 460 rounds. So that's one of the things that we should know about. Let's see, what is the ground crew doing? We have requested rearming, but they are not doing anything. Oh, because we forgot to leave the cockpit door open. So let's do this process all over again. Since I haven't set up the intercom, we can just talk to the guys on the ground. So let's grab ourselves these KOM rocket. I cannot click today. Apparently KOM rocket pods. Alright, and
request rearming. Copy.
Okay, now they actually answer, so we're gonna get ourselves rearmed, and we're definitely gonna be armed and dangerous. The Ka-50, as you can see, well, if you're not familiar with the Ka-50 or helicopters in general, it's a bit of a different design because it uses coaxial main rotors. It does not have a tail rotor. This actually grants in for extra stability and so on. Of course, if you do know about the Ka-50, feel free to type stuff in there with the mistakes I make. I'm actually going to go on a full fuel load, and the weapons I've requested. So we can see the weapons have been mounted on our 4 weapon stations. So we have on the inner pods, we have the rockets, the laser-guided missiles are on the outer stations. So that's where we are. So we're going to actually also ask the ground crew to connect us with... Okay. No, we're not going to request turbo gear, but we're going to connect...
Request to turn on ground power.
Yeah, ground power. Because what we're going to do, we're also going to handle the flight planning.
Ground power is now on.
Okay, so what I'm going to do to activate the ground power is put this on. And I will activate the batteries. So this will actually help us not to drain the 2 batteries that we have. And first of all, I'm going to actually turn on the navigation system. So there are some switches here on this back panel. So we're going to turn the INU and INU heat. I'm also going to turn on the defenses, which are chaff and flares. This helicopter actually comes with chaff and flares. And I'm going to arm the ejection system. This helicopter comes with an ejection system, which is quite revolutionary. Next, we're going to put on the INU. First, the Abris, and I'll explain what these systems are. And we're going to turn on the INU, and we're going to put this to edit mode for now. And we're also going to turn on the navigation system here. IFF is not needed. And for expediency's sake, we also should put on the not blade tip lights. I would put these on, but this is a bug that I haven't been able to figure out how to get past. The beacon light is a bit too strong, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now we're going to wait for this Abris, and I'm going to actually do the flight planning. I'm going to zoom in here a bit. We're also going to do the INU stuff at the same time. So these navigation systems are, the Abris is a satellite navigation system akin to the GPS, but it's actually the Russian GLONASS. I think it can use GPS as well, but as far as I know, it's GLONASS based. So the GLONASS is the Russian satellite navigation network. So this is starting up a built-in test. It's going to boot up the system. It's actually an Intel 486 CPU powering this, believe it or not. If you're familiar with processors, hello viewer, how's it going? And we're going to first of all make our flight plan. So we are here at, we're going to look where we are. So we are here at Senaki Kolki. This is my airbase. And I'm going to zoom in and first work on the actual flight plan. So we're going to go to this. This has 5 OBS buttons. So push button 3. And of course it has our home field here. We can of course draw, VNav, media, fuel. It has a lot of functionality. So what we want to do, let's zoom in so we know this is our airfield. This is based on satellite imagery. We are going to edit this point first of all. This knob here allows you to go through the options in the menu, and with this we can actually set the letters and actually rename the waypoints. So let's call this, well, let's call this home. Home is a good name for it. And that's one. So stay tuned. This will take a while, but and then we go to edit again, and we have the option here to actually insert a waypoint. We're gonna confirm by right-clicking this, and basically you push the push button so we can actually add a new waypoint. We click add, and then we have the option of moving it. So we can actually draw now the location where we want this waypoint to be. So I usually use pretty good landmarks that are visible from the air. Now I don't expect we will be flying very high because it's a helicopter. We don't really need to go that high. See, the map actually itself moves. I'm going to take this island here. It's here in the middle of the river. I'm going to push this. And I'm going to enter. What I'm going to do here is, here's the point, and I'm going to edit it. So I'm going to call this, I guess let's call it ISL, for short for island. So short for island will be like something like GHI, enter, and then this switches the character. If you've used any Garmin devices for GPS, this is very similar. And then finally we're going to enter this. Okay, we're going to need another waypoint, so we're going to insert a new one. Again, we have this cursor here that draws. For some reason the sea appears as green. It shouldn't be green. Might be some sort of bug, I suppose. Okay, let's put this here. I haven't seen this bug before, but we can add it. Then we can call this, I guess coast is a good name for it. CST is actually a very good name for it. And we're gonna enter. And then we need to actually find our target zone where the targets are. So we're going to go to edit, insert again, and we're gonna just go south, 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 south. Now there's Kobuleti, and there's an airfield. I know it's right here because I flew this mission before. Hey viewer, how's it going, guys? So what we're going to do next is we're gonna actually set this here, roughly there. We're gonna add the waypoint by clicking the add push button 1, and we're gonna call this, I guess TGT is a good name for it. So this is the target. T G and T. And we're gonna need an egress point, something that's easy to follow. Now there are no air defenses in this area, so let's gonna set this to TGT, TGS, TGT, enter. So we can actually scale in and see what's. So see, this is actually a place many other pilots use for practice runs because it's an abandoned airfield. So let's edit it a little bit because I don't like where it is. So let's click move. Okay. And I guess that's fine enough. And finally we're going to go for edit. I'm gonna insert another waypoint. Now this is not a pre-planned mission, so I have to do this. And we're going to set this here, and then we're going to go up. And I think I'm going to use the river as a mark point. There's a river here nearby. Let's scale out a bit. There's a river. And that spot right there I think is good. We're going to add it, and we're going to call this EP or egress point. Yeah, as I said, this takes a while, and I'm sorry this is a bit boring, but this has to be done, since it's not a pre-planned mission. And we're going to enter this. And I will not actually add further waypoints because our next waypoint itself is home plate, which is our airfield. But something that we need to do is actually enter the same waypoints in the INU, the Inertial Navigation Unit, which is an inertial navigation system. Now, these two systems are completely disconnected, which is a drawback, I suppose, but, well, you will see it's not that bad. So we're going to move away from the plan. We're going to activate this flight plan. So the GLONASS system, the ABRIS, now knows that this is actually what we want to do. This is how we want to fly. HSI, and we're going to go to menu. So the thing is, these two systems use different coordinate systems. So if you look a bit, this actually uses for latitude and longitude uses degrees, minutes, seconds, while the INU uses decimal degrees, and they use different amount of digits. So the ABRIS uses six digit number, while the INU uses a 5-digit format. So let's do that. Of course, we need to grab our latitudes and longitudes from this in the proper format. So we're going to go to setup. Again, this opens an action menu here. It's very easy. I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's very easy. You move that, then you click setup again, and we have latitude and longitude. So we know this is using degrees, minutes, seconds, same for longitude. So what we're going to do is going to click the change button. We're going to use this push button. We're going to click change. We can leave this in kilometers per hour and so on. The Krasovsky ellipsoid, I do not know what this is. I will not change it because I do not know what it is. But now we can actually relay these coordinates to the IN, Inertial Navigation Unit. So we're going, okay, wait a second, I might have done a stupid thing right there. Yes, I did. I click change by accident. Menu, nav, and we're going to click flight plan. So we have the 5 waypoints here. As you can see, they have home plate, island, coast, target, and egress point. And they have, of course, their coordinates. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to go here to the INU. I'm going to press 1. So this is waypoint 1. And we're going to enter the home plate here. So what we're going to do, it has plus or minus. Plus means positive, so northern hemisphere. Minus means negative, so southern hemisphere. Again for east and west. Plus is east, minus is west. It's from the GMT meridian. That's how the INU works. So we're going to press plus. Well, actually, my mistake. Waypoint 1 plus. And now we're going to enter this number here, but you're going to see it's going to be only 5 numbers. So we're going to do, oh, what am I doing? Waypoint 1 plus. No, what? It should be in the right mode. I'm quite new to this, so this is waypoint 0, waypoint 1. Okay, that's how it goes. So this is correct. If you look at the abris and here, this is correct. But it doesn't know about the other waypoints because there is no way to synchronize these two systems. So what I'm going to do is enter waypoint 2 here, plus, and I'm going to enter these numbers here. So I'm going to enter 42, 12, and this is 60. So if it would be a 65, I would make it a 7, but I'm going to make it a 6. So I'm going to round it down. And enter. Now I need to enter the longitude. It's going to be plus, but this is going to use a 6 number format. So I'm going to enter 0, 41, see here, 47, and that's 34. So that's going to be rounded down to a 3. Okay, it's quite simple. Then we're going to proceed with the others. Waypoint 3, it's this one here. Plus 42, 11. Now this is 74, so it's going to be a 7 again. And then we're going to enter the longitude, which is going to be 0, 41, 38, 4. Since we cannot round up or round down. And we're going to click enter. Finally, we're going to go to waypoint 4, which is our target waypoint. We're going to enter the longitude and latitude, so plus 41, 50, 53, so 5, that's fair enough. I'm going to press the plus twice for longitude, 0, oh, waypoint 4, plus, damn it. So I made a mistake there, but that's fine. 41, 50, 5, enter. And we're going to put here 41, 47, 89. So this is going to be a 9. Apologies for my mistake. And I'm going to enter the egress point, waypoint 5, which is 41, 54, 1, very easy, and 41, 49, 54, so 41, 49, 5, 4. And with this, we've actually managed to update our waypoint. We're going to set the next waypoint 2. We can actually verify this by pressing the waypoints. Waypoint 3, waypoint 4, we can actually verify these numbers. Waypoint 5. So we're going to set this to waypoint 2 because we want to go from 1 to 2. Now we're going to proceed with the startup sequence. So I'm going to close the door. I'm going to activate the intercom for when I need to deactivate the ground power. So the way you start this helicopter, this has an auxiliary power unit. So we're going to activate the fuel pumps forward and aft. There's a small sound there that tells us that the pumps are on. And I'm going to also turn on the fuel pumps for the engines and the APU. The APU is an auxiliary power unit, which is a small jet engine that allows us to start the helicopter. So we're going to leave this button here. I'm going to also remove the rotor brake, just so I don't forget it. And there's a small sound in the background. The APU itself is starting, so I'm going to recenter my track IR a bit, so now I can actually see a bit better around the cockpit. See, there's the APU. So now we're going to start the engines. I'm going to start left, then right. I'm going to move this engine selector here to the left, which is very easy. And I'm going to push the button. Here we have the RPM gauge. It's going to go at about 15%. I'm going to activate the fuel shutoff, so it's going to inject fuel in the engine. And there we go, our first engine has been started up. Now it's actually the sound in the background. We actually have the Whirlybird's engines. And let's put the navigation lights at least. Let's be civilized and put the nav lights at least on. Okay, the engine has stabilized at about 70% RPM. I'm going to move this here for the right engine. Very easy again. There's this green light that tells me that the engine is starting. And I'm going to put on the fuel. Now I can put this to nav mode, and I'll show you how this works. This is actually, the Abris is a really cool system. I'm waiting for the engine to stabilize. In the meantime, I will power up the governor, electronic engine governor for the left engine. And I'm going to start activating the radio systems. And weapons master arm on. It's not master arm, apologies, it's the weapons electric power. And then I'm going to throttle up. The inverter is set to auto, which is very good, we don't need to power it. And I'm going to connect the two generators. Now I'm going to talk to the ground crew.
Request to turn off ground power.
I'm going to set this back to neutral. And I'm going to shut off the APU. The auxiliary power unit is going offline. I'm going to shut off the fuel for the APU because I don't really need it. So let's see what do we have here. So here's the countermeasure system. These are basically indicator lights. Here we have the data link. And now we're going to enable the autopilot. So this helicopter has a very advanced autopilot system that actually makes your life a lot easier. I'm going to turn the electro-optical system on, which is the Schwal. If you're familiar with the Su-25, this is the same thing. I'm going to uncage the standby ADI. This is the primary ADI. This already shows us this is the HSI, so it's pretty much a fairly standard cockpit. Now I'm also going to prepare the laser, just in case. And we're going to engage auto turn whenever we get to it. And we also are going to turn on the ADF, and let's see what we can tune into here. This does have an ADF. So it has an ADF on a 335 kilohertz outer NDB. So let's see if we can do here a okay, so our ADF is on just in case. I think we're gonna be ready to start. So this helicopter relies a lot on trim. So once it's flying, the autopilot can literally do anything anything you want it to do. However, it's a good idea to use the trim. So for takeoff, I'm going to pull up a bit on the stick. I can also use this helper here to let us know what exactly is going on. So we're gonna go a bit light on the wheels. I'm gonna move this a bit forward. And we're gonna start our vertical takeoff. We're gonna retract the landing gear. Disengage the wheel brakes, we don't need the wheel brakes anymore, and we're going to turn that way. Towards our departure waypoint. And I'm going to activate the en route autopilot. It will turn us to the waypoint. And we're gonna have it accelerate. The helicopter will accelerate while we do this. We're not going very fast yet until we leave the airport area. And we're still climbing. Here's the VSI, so it's telling us that we're actually climbing. I'm gonna fly this manually for a while. Then we're gonna go to the autopilot. Yeah, now the helicopter is stabilized and it's going to continue flying towards waypoint 2. Now here in the ABRIS we have a lot of data such as ground speed, takeoff from home, distance to home, and our current heading. Of course we can change this to an arc if that is what we want, or HSI, or back to nav, which is what we've been using. So while this happens, we don't really have much to do. The helicopter itself is in auto flight. It could go a little bit faster though. This is gonna take us a while if we don't go any faster. And I'm also going to engage altitude hold, so the autopilot will also maintain the altitude for us. So how the autopilot works, it has multiple modes here. Autopilot bank, pitch, altitude, and heading hold. So our autopilot actually can handle all the aspects of the flying while we just, I don't know, can keep an eye for targets or whatever else it is we need to do. It's actually a pretty smart helicopter, if you ask me. The helicopter will actually bring us to the original altitude, even if I do this. And stabilize us, because it's smart like that. But yeah, this is the KA-50 is actually one of the easiest helicopters to fly, but I think it's the most complex helicopter in DCS. There are others available as well, like the UH-1 and Mi-8 and Gazelle, but I think the KA-50 is the most complex by far. And there I had actually made a mistake. I had forgotten to set the INU in operating mode. So that is why the helicopter was not really following steer point cues. Now it's actually doing it, so. Other times, if you just engage auto en route mode and you fly, it will just follow the heading and speed you give it, but that's about it. So now the INU is basically driving the helicopter, and I'm using the ABRIS-based flight plan. It's trying to drift to the right a bit. I do not know why, but and I mean, there's no wind. There's no real cause for it to drift to the right. I'll try to trim it so it's properly set. So the distance, we can also see it here in kilometers. Remember, this is Russian. This uses metric. So we're 5 kilometers away from the waypoint. We can also, of course, scale up and down here as well. And we go back to nav mode. So, yeah, it's pretty intelligent, the helicopter. Why is that not maintaining altitude? There we go. One of the autopilot modes for some reason had gone off. And see, if you look at the map here, there's the island, there's the island. It's actually pretty precise. And I told it to go to waypoint 3 now, so it's gonna turn around, follow to get to this blue line, and get to waypoint 3. Waypoint 3 is somewhere just off the coast. We're still doing about 230 kilometers an hour. So what is this big screen here? This big screen is actually the Schwal. It's an electro-optic and infrared this target designation, acquisition and designation system, I think. As far as I know, it does work in infrared as well. I have never really tried it, but it should work quite well. So this is what we use to acquire the target, lock it, laze it, and then we unleash the missiles to the target. That's pretty much what the Schwal does. So this tells us we have about 8 kilometers to the coast. I know the waypoint is just there. We also have this diamond that actually shows us where the waypoint is. And the 203 P is actually R in Russian. So it tells us this is our radio altitude. Oh, there's a train, there's a couple of bridges. And Karsten, if you're watching this, don't blow up my bridges. Again, I'm actually, look, hands off the controls. The helicopter's doing everything. Well, when we reach the target, of course, I have to take a more hands-on approach, and this might seem a little bit boring, but this is the mission. We have to get to the target area, neutralize the targets, and egress and return to base. I'm just hoping you will actually stay with me and we'll actually get this done. For these caution lights, so we have end navigation on, crossfeed valve open. I was hoping to equalize the tanks, so I don't really have a banking attitude. This tells us the radio altimeter is on. And here we have the fuel pump status. That's pretty much it. Oh, it has, it has a window wiper, It has a window washer as well. It's pretty nice, actually. Now it's going to turn. It does a maximum 15-degree bank when it turns. So it's going to be a bit of a wider turn, but that's fine. We're not in a hurry anywhere. Also, I will not be using the pitot probes because we have no need for that. Yeah, the sea still appears as green for some reason, so this might be a bug. Remember, this is an open beta client. I always use the open beta because it has the newest changes on. And here we have actually a lot of conventional instruments. So here's the stopwatch, blade angle, barometric altimeter, radar altimeter, RPM, speed, VSI, ADI, HSI. It's pretty simple, actually. Hey, how's it going? Hello, viewer. I'm just gonna lean in. This is a leisure flight so far, but now I still don't know why the sea appears as green here. It should appear as blue. Normally it appears as blue, but well, it's not the end of the world. At least I know I'm over the water, so. Now, of course, I will show you how to use the weapon systems to the best of my ability. I don't claim to be an expert on the Ka-50. I like it. It's the only actual attack helicopter we have in DCS. Hopefully more will come, but one of the things I don't really like that much about it is the visibility. it's a bit limited, so if I want to look back, it's a bit on the iffy side, but we'll be fine. Of course, if I want to fly low, I can always deactivate altitude hold and lower my collective a bit and start dropping altitude. I'm doing about well, I may think it's less than 50 or 100 meters per second. Let's pull it up a bit. Let's stabilize. And I'm going to re-engage altitude hold. I'm flying 130 meters over the water. And we're about 31 kilometers away, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the trim button, pull back on the stick a bit. And let go. So I'm trying to slow down before I reach the target. Of course, I could engage the target while moving. That's completely possible. We're about 20 kilometers away. I know the target's somewhere over there. I can uncage. This is the Cheval system, the famous Cheval. I can slew it and actually already start looking for targets. I can zoom in, zoom out. It's a pretty good navigation system, actually. Navigation, I'm sorry. Targeting system. You see this line here? This line here actually shows me where the Cheval is actually looking. I can scale out a bit more. There's my target waypoint. It's TGT there. And I'll return to nav mode. Again, I still have the speed indicator. I'm flying about 80 kilometers an hour. And I'm at 191 meters of radial altitude. And I'm about... Okay, I just turn on and off the cheval because I don't want to ruin it. So okay, this is 80 kilometers an hour ground speed. This is airspeed, and I'm about 21 kilometers away from the target. I'm not flying very fast now. See, the 21 is changing to 20. Now these missiles, as far as I know, the Vickers, you can see them there on the outer rack, have a range of about 8 kilometers or 10. I don't remember the exact numbers. But the way we're going to do this is I'm actually going to turn off the autopilot. I'm going to go to the target area, hide behind some trees if I can. I've never really done that before. Engage auto hover mode and just pop up and start booming up the targets. "90 kilometers to target." "18 kilometers to target." That's the radar altimeter telling me I'm too close to the ground. As you can see, the autopilot can handle pretty well the low flying conditions. It's pretty good at it. And I am 70 kilometers away. Let's accelerate a bit. And we're going up. I'll deactivate the en route autopilot and go for manual flight here. I'm trying to keep as gentle movements as possible on the cyclic. I'm gonna have to avoid those power lines because I don't want to crash the helicopter. And I think a good place to camp would be there on the right. I'm flying very slow and slow here. I'm gonna go a bit lower now. There are no more power lines on the way, so. Well, let's see. We're getting there. We're getting there. And there we go, there's our target. I've marked the target point. And I'm gonna go low. So I've activated now the auto hover mode. The helicopter will eventually come to a standstill. And I'm gonna pop up. I'm going to activate the master arm on. Auto turn. And popping up. I'm going to choose the outer stations. And we have a lock on the port side station. And well, the missile's not firing. Apparently I don't have launch authority yet. It's okay, I'll deactivate the auto hover mode and I'll go a bit closer. And there goes the missile. Boom! Then we're going to pick another target, let's say this truck here. We're gonna lock it up. It's a bit further away. We're gonna set the missile pipper on the Cheval. Boom! And we're going to launch another one. There you go. We're going to turn the helicopter around. There we go. Then I'm gonna plan to pick up another target. There we go, and we keep launching missiles like this until we are out. We still have 8 Vickers. I'm in an almost perfect hover mode. I'll activate auto hover. I'm gonna pick another target, let's say this one. And I'm gonna turn on auto turn. Let's say this, target locked. Deactivate auto hover, go closer, so it wasn't as much. No, actually it's, I don't need to deactivate auto hover, I need to. Seven Vickers left. There we go. So those were the Vickers. Now, let's go try employ the rocket packs, so rocket launchers. So we're gonna activate it. This is the helmet mounted system. I'm going to go for the inner system for the rockets. I'm going to lock that up, and I'm gonna go forward. Now, of course, besides rocket pods and Vickers, as I said, this helicopter supports the KH-25ML, laser-guided, much larger missile. You can also find that on many other Russian aircraft. And we also can find stuff like bombs and gun pods. So we're going to do a rocket run. We're accelerating. We're about 80 kilometers an hour. I'll deactivate altitude hold. And you can see there's a peeper there, right under my HUD. Now that's where the rockets will hit. So as long as I put that over the target where the Shkval is aiming, we're golden. And we can also set the amount of weapons we want to fire. Let's put in a medium burst. Actually, a short burst. Let's try to save our rockets. 3.1 kilometers away. We're doing about 100, almost 200 kilometers an hour. And we're really close. I'm gonna put the peeper, my peeper, under the Shkval target. I missed. So there we go, that's one truck destroyed. We're gonna do a turnaround. And, well, that wasn't very accurate, but And let's activate the cannon. Going back to missiles. Well, missiles, rockets, apologies. Okay, I recaged the Shval. It's been bore sighted now. There we go. And we're hovering again.
Lower gear. Lower gear.
And I think we are done here. Hey, how's it going? And I think we are done with the mission. Hey, thank you for tuning into the stream. How's your Sunday going? As you can see, mine is quite dandy. I've been just doing some practice with the KA50, and I must say things are getting better for me. Huh. Not my best feat of piloting, but and hello and welcome. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? And I'm just hands off the controls. This thing is flying itself home. So, do you play DCS? Do you like the KA-50? I think it's actually, well, being the only helicopter, attack helicopter we have, it's a pretty good, nice, well, it's a pretty nice thing to fly. I'll just turn off Master Arm because I had forgotten about it. Shame on me, eh? So we have another 50 kilometers to home plate, and this time you can actually, guys, tell me what do you like about DCS? What do you find so amazing about it? Why do you play it? Do you even play it? Do you do not play it? Do you consider playing it? Again, another big shout out to the Grim Reapers. They actually organized some of the best educational streams on this topic. Definitely go out, check their channel. They've been around for a very long time with DCS. I mean, I've learned a lot from them. And since I do like helicopters, I'm a bit of a rotor head myself. Learning I think the KA-50 was actually a very good thing for me to do. Their videos have helped me a lot, not just with the KA-50, with other planes as well. Now everybody's hyped out about the incoming Tomcat, but I think all the modules definitely deserve a go if you like flying and DCS. The KA-50 is actually one of the first modules that Eagle Dynamics ever made. I think it was the first or the second. but it's very very complete in compared to, well, a lot of other things. So I think it's almost on the same par with the A10C, which is one of their best modules. I think it's their best module so far. I mean, it's a full system complete A10C Charlie Warthog. So yeah. Again, I'm not doing these videos to teach you guys. There are plenty of people who can actually teach much better than me. This has been just one of the many things I do, and I haven't flown the KA-50 in a very, very long time. So this was actually a good opportunity since I've been watching the training videos from the Reapers to improve my own skills. Again, what equipment do I use? Of course, I use the Thrustmaster Warthog. Thrustmaster flight pedals, I mean, they're okay. If you ask me, I think they're very okay. I use Track IR5 because I'm having a bit of headache-related issues with the VR. So I chose to buy a Track IR5. It was cheaper also. So me being a poor man, well, relatively not very rich, I just simply chose to go with the Track IR because it's better for my sake, and I think it does help around with the immersion quite a lot. So this mission itself was very simple. It was from Senaki Kolki, basically from here. I blew up some trucks to test the weapon systems and see if I've managed to learn my lessons from the Grim Reaper's videos. And simply practicing flying the KA-50, which has proven a very interesting helicopter to fly. I mean, it's different, because all the other present in the game, all great modules in their own end, the Gazelle, the UH-1 and the Mi-8, are more conventional helicopters. As you can see, this is a coaxial rotor helicopter, so it's, again, the only attack helicopter we have. Why I usually fly, I mean, I like the other maps too, but for some reason I like the Caucasus because uh, I like mountains, and I mean, Nevada has mountains, the Persian Gulf has mountains, but it's just I like seeing green forested mountains, so I kind of stuck to the good old Caucasus, which is a very good map if you ask me. The annoying sound in the background is the ADF. And we're approaching home plate, which is, well, designated as home here. We are about 23 kilometers away. Excuse me. I've been actually nursing the flu for the whole weekend, so. Once we get closer, of course, to home plate, I'll take over manually and land the helicopter. But yeah, this helicopter actually has a very good autopilot, if you ask me. I mean, it works very well in conjunction with the Abris, the INU, and the various modes that you can set up here. It also has a flight director, which allows you to adjust the helicopter even while the autopilot is on, as far as I understood it. And it also has all sorts of modes. As you've seen earlier, it has a auto hover mode, which is very useful when you're trying to, hide behind a hill or trees and just pop up, let loose a missile, then just pop back down. It helps with that kind of operations. This is actually similar to what the Gazelle might be doing. The Gazelle is, I call it the killer helicopter. Each time I try to fly it, it tries to kill me. The KA-50, due to the coaxial rotor, is the easier to fly because it helps a lot with stability. You don't really have a tail rotor per se to think about, so. But whatever you try to fly in DCS, I would definitely recommend you get pedals. If you want to fly helicopters, get pedals. They change the whole experience. Also, hit tracking is definitely something I would definitely and most unequivocally recommend for you to get. And this is a very Russian aircraft per se. I mean, many of these controls are literally taken from other Russian birds. The dials, the indicators are very, very similar. Yeah, even the HUD itself, I mean, this part of the HUD is the same as I think as the Su-27 and the Su-25. So, yeah, it should tell you enough, the amount of the reusability of components the Russians have. I mean, Americans have it too, though, or Western aircraft have it too, but. And to be honest, I mean, with the advent of the MiG-19, I was really happy on the topic of Russian aircraft that we actually have another Red Force aircraft around. It was actually very happy for me. I do like Western aircraft as well, don't get me wrong. And then I'm going to start slowing down a bit. And maintain, basically keep flying towards the diamond. That's where my airfield is. I'm also going to turn off altitude hold. And begin to slow down. I'm going to push the collective down. This slows down quite quickly, so I don't really need to slow it down overly fast. Also, this helicopter I think has the lowest rate of VRS that I know of, vortex ring state, in DCS. I've managed the VRS, the Gazelle, the Mi-8 quite a lot, and the Huey on occasion, but the coaxial rotors definitely help. "10 kilometers to target, to home plate." I'm gonna start after the river. I'm gonna start dropping altitude, so I'm gonna go at about 100 meters. I'm gonna slowly lower the collective a bit, not much. The helicopter will just lower itself. It's very stable as a helicopter. Also, most camo helicopters are actually incredibly stable because of the coaxial rotor system. Many like the Ka-31 or K-26, well, K-27 family are actually used in a lot of hauling operations, like log hauling, telephone pole work, and so on. So yeah, I would definitely like to see more coaxial rotor style helicopters in DCS. 6 kilometers, we should be able to slow down. I'm just raising the nose a little bit, so the air wash of the rotors basically acts a bit forward and slows us down. Other helicopters I would definitely love to see in DCS are the Apache and the Super Cobra, or the Cobra at least. If I cannot have the Super Cobra. The Hind, the Russian Hind, the Mi-24, if you've watched Rambo or many, you know, TV programs, you would know the Hind. It's actually a really awesome helicopter. It's true multi-role. It's a gunship and transport aircraft with a capacity of up to 8 soldiers. It's a well, it would require, I guess, multi-crew because it has a gunner and a pilot. But I think it would be a really awesome thing to have. There's the airport. I'm actually simply gonna go to land at the ramp where I took off from. Okay, that was unexpected. I just pressed the trimmer button by accident. And things were going so well. And I'm lowering the gear. Let's check for 3 green lights. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Let's start lowering ourselves. Our landing spot is somewhere to the right. And there we are. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Even if you didn't watch this live, remember this always goes to my YouTube channel. And I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to be as thorough as possible about what I was doing with the KA50. Let's actually turn this around forward. So. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to DCS and my first actual, more serious mission with the KA-50. I haven't really flown any missions where people would fire back at me or anything else, but I'm actually looking forward to do it. I like helicopters again as I'm a rotorhead. Thank you for tuning in, fly safe, take care of yourselves, and have a wonderful week. Remember, if you like my stuff, feel free to follow, and feel free to leave me comments, send me messages, and so on. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the flight line. Bye bye.